everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about sticks. So I get asked all the time, especially because I'm an Under Armour athlete, which of the Under Armour sticks I use. There's a lot of different sticks on the market. There's the Glory, the Emissary, the Honor, the Regime. So there's a couple different sticks out there, and I tend to use two. I flip-flop between the Regime and the Emissary. So I thought we'd do a deep dive into these sticks, the specific differences, the similarities, what I use them for and when, and why I love both of these sticks so much. So these are my two sticks of choice, the Regime and Emissary. Let's dive on in. So first and foremost, we're gonna talk about the Regime. Old Faithful, I like to call her. So this is the third oldest Under Armour stick on the market right now. They came out with the Glory and then the Emissary. The Emissary is the newest one. The Regime is the older of the two that I use. I love this stick. This is the stick I recommend to all of my centers. It's great for the draw. It has a great sidewall. If you punch it in, whoops, like that. Great sidewall for the draw. If you watch college or high school or US or pro lacrosse, 9 times out of 10, the centers who are able to are using this Regime. Great sidewall. It's great for the draw. Thick. It's a little bit heavier than the Regime, so it stands up to the twists and turns of the draw really well, but it's light enough that you can still play with it. It's not as wide as the Glory, so it's a little bit narrower than the Glory, but a little bit wider than the Regime. So for those defenders and midfielders who like to have a little bit wider pocket to scoop ground balls, this is key. It has a great sweet spot right in the middle, or right in that top third. Great spot for the draw as well, so you're getting a 2-for-1 there. I really like this this stick for the draw. A little bit heavier than the Regime. I keep everything on a Regime shaft. So even my Emissary's on a Regime shaft, but the head is just a little bit different. So I highly recommend this to all of my midfielders, defenders, or my centers. It's a great utility stick. You can take the draw with it and play with it. Or you can just be a midi, an attacker, a defender using this stick. All around stick, best one out there. Love this baby. The other stick that I like to use is the Emissary. So the Emissary is Under Armour's brand new stick. It's definitely the lightest one that they have on the market right now. While I call the Regime a little bit of a mix between the Glory and the Honor, the Emissary is a mix between the Regime and the Honor. So the Honor is Under Armour's international stick. It's definitely the narrowest of the 4 types. This is kind of that happy medium. So it's a little bit narrower than the Regime. It definitely has a little bit lighter of a touch. So it's a little lighter than the Regime as well, which makes it kind of an attacker and a midfielder's best friend. Super light and easy to takes care of the ball. As you can see, the sidewall angle's a little bit lower than the Regime, so it's not necessarily made for the draw. I used it quite a bit for the draw this summer in pro and really liked it. But out of the two, I would recommend the Regime for the draw. This can be used for the draw though, if you're an attacker who sometimes takes the draw. It's definitely made for shooters though. With that lower angle, really highlights the sweet spot right up here, so you get a nice high wall, high sweet spot right where that pocket is supposed to be, allowing you to shoot harder, faster from farther out. I loved playing with this stick this summer. It held up for me really well, and as with all of my sticks, not only do I have them on Regime poles, but I use the Rail Elite stringing. So I'm not a big mesh girl, so I string everything with kind of these Rail Elite with the little plastic beads on the back. Definitely recommend the Emissary again for all of our attackers and midfielders out there. It's light, great shot speed, great shot selection in terms of being able to place it anywhere and have a nice hold with this. Has a huge angle, deep offset. It's an attacker and a midfielder's dream. So again, these are my two go-tos, the Regime here, Emissary here. As you can see, they look pretty similar, but they kind of have different uses. Again, Regime for all my centers out there, my midfielders, defenders. It's kind of that utility stick that you want to use all around. Emissary definitely made for attackers and midfielder, definitely with an offensive person, a player in mind when creating that stick. Both can be used for the draw. I recommend the Regime for the draw. Emissary is a bit more of an offensive focused, Regime's more all around. Again, I use these sticks pretty much in and out. They're very interchangeable for me. I love them both. Highly recommend for anyone who's getting ready to start fall season or wants to break in one before the spring season that you check out these two right there. And if you're curious as to the yellow strings, little secret, it hides the ball. So the yellow strings hide the yellow ball, make it harder for a goalie to stop. Just a little trick I learned from my coaches in college and in pro and US. That's you constantly see it. That's why a lot of teams have yellow strings, hides the ball. So let me know if you have any questions, comment below. Let me know if you have a Regime or Emissary, what you guys think about it. I'll see you next time. Bye.